As faculty marshal, I hereby open the 2013 Thiel College Commencement exercises. Please remain standing for the invocation delivered this afternoon by the senior member of our religion department, the director of the Dietrich Honors Institute, and Thiel's longtime official, guy who leads prayers when there's nobody else around to do it, the Reverend Dr. Kurt Thompson.
Thank you, Chris. Let us pray. We use the word God to address you, O ultimate mystery of reality. But as St. Thomas Aquinas says, the more we get to know you, the more unknowable we know you are. We refuse to give up on naming you because your presence echoes throughout the universe, giving us a deep sense that you sustain all creatures and lure them into deeper interconnectedness. We celebrate with you today each and every creative individual who is graduating from Thiel College. We thank you for blessing them with the desire to learn, the mind to think, the will to achieve, and the heart to love. Fill them with gratitude as they pause to reflect on the significance of this auspicious day, that they might balance their rightful pride in their accomplishments with a pressing hunger to tackle the next phase of their lives. And give permission to those of us on the fringes, parents, friends, faculty, administrators, staff, and board members, to feel joy at this event, for the graduates primarily, but secondarily in knowing that all of us also have participated in the supportive structures that make this day possible. We pray in the spirit of wanting to know more about you whom we love. Expand the scope of our inquiry into life so that it's broad enough to appreciate love when we experience it. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you to our students and their families, our faculty and staff, and our honored guests and speakers for coming today to share in this special day. And of course, welcome all to Thiel College, the 139th Commencement exercise. Each year, I'm truly honored to officiate the Thiel College Commencement ceremony. This year, however, is a little special for me. The members of the class of 2013 are students who matriculated at Thiel College the same year I began my presidency. In many ways, I feel that we have grown and learned much together. Thank you for sharing that journey with me, Annette, Trey, and Gabriella. It has been an honor to watch you grow and mature into the impressive men and women we see today. I wish you well on this momentous day. Commencements are about closing one door and opening others. Our newly minted Thiel graduates will walk out of the Passevant Center this afternoon and begin the next phase of their lives, a time that will be directly shaped by the knowledge they gained and their experiences here at Thiel College. Rest assured that they are well prepared for what life will bring them. Members of the class of 2013, please don't ever close the door on Thiel. Please remember us fondly and visit us often. But first we celebrate. Graduates, take a moment and revel in the fact that you did it. And know that all of us here today are looking down upon you with pride as you walk across the stage to receive your diploma and well-deserved accolades. We are proud to call you Thiel College graduates, and look forward with anticipation to all that you will achieve out in the world. Congratulations to all. Yesterday was another momentous occasion at Thiel College. We broke ground on the James Pettis Communications Center, the first new academic building on campus in nearly 40 years. The excitement in the air for the start of a new era at Thiel was palpable. The Pettis Center will live at the heart of campus, both literally and figuratively, as every Thiel student will spend time within its walls, learning and communicating, learning presentation skills that make for successful careers and lives. It is very fitting that our keynote speaker today is someone who knows about the importance of communication and the skills that in fact helped him build a very successful career in the media and in radio. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jim Cunningham, Artistic Director of WQED FM in Pittsburgh and member of the Thiel class of 1977. Jim?
Thank you, Dr. Van Aken. Distinguished faculty, parents, friends, staff, members of the board, the class of 2013. Anyone who listens to public radio or watches PBS knows that fundraising drives are essential. After working in public radio and television a while, I've been part of a lot of fundraisers. The New York Times compared public broadcasting fundraising methods to waterboarding. Can you believe it? Equating my fundraising to the CIA's secret torture methods. And don't think it's just public radio who's after you. There are only a few things certain in life: death, taxes, and the fact that the Thiel Alumni Phone-a-thon will find you next year. I guarantee you, we'll be calling you. And I am delighted to be with you. I want to thank Choir Director Michael Bray for his marvelous music today at Baccalaureate this afternoon. I have been privileged to hear his great work with the Thiel Choir on many occasions, and organist Catherine Gray playing Bach. Choir directors and organists do not get enough respect. Too many people hear the organ and are reminded of funerals and long, hot summer Sunday morning sermons. Oh my. The organ is an instrument of great joy and connects us to history, world culture, and to the divine. Johann Sebastian Bach signed every manuscript Soli Deo Gloria, only for the glory of God. Bach also had 20 children. As a broadcaster, you must be careful with word choice and phrasing when explaining that Bach had a very large organ. You've got to be careful. He didn't pull out the stops, let me tell you. I graduated with a dual major from Thiel. English, because I have always loved books, newspapers, magazines, reading, and business administration, because my father made me study business administration. Parents like us to have practical skills to fall back on. In fact, both of my majors have been extremely useful to me. Thank you, David Miller. Thank you very much. For example, I was very glad to have learned something of commas and the use of parenthesis while I was here at Thiel. Working in radio, it's essential that disc jockeys be able to read scripts fluently, including some foreign names, and be alert to the changes needed in the copy. I will never forget, late one night in December, one of my colleagues was on duty when the station signed off for the evening. Now, radio and TV stations broadcast 24 hours a day, but then the station signed off the air at midnight. This particular night, a disc jockey was working who was completely unaware of the correct use of parenthesis. So the words that came out of the radio were these: "This is announcer's name, wishing you a good evening, and if Christmas, Merry Christmas. If New Year's, Happy New Year." Being here thrills me more than you could know. My family is here, my wife Lori, my son Jim, he's 13, he's a terrific violinist, Jim the Fourth, and of course my mom, who was here at Thiel until 1953 as a student. My brother Matt, my mom, my dad, my aunt, they're all Thiel alumni, and I keep in touch with some friends who miraculously graduated on an occasion like this one. My mom's father, the Reverend Elmer Ortner, was a Thiel grad, and he raised a great deal of the money that built Harder Hall. Grandpa was listening to a WQED fundraiser. He was listening to me on the radio, and I was saying how sorry I was that we had to interrupt the music to ask for money. After I was off the air, he called me and said, "Listen, never apologize when you ask for money, if you believe that what you are doing is making people's lives better." Making people's lives better. That's what public radio and television is all about. That's my job. And that's your job now, too. To go out the doors of the Passavant Center and make people's lives better, not just your own, but we have to start with ourselves. We have to be the best people we can be if we want to make an impact on the world. So allow me to share just a few habits that were formed during my years here at Thiel. First, habit number 1. Every day, if possible, speak a few reasonable words. As we begin a new era for Thiel with the dedication of the Pettis Center for Communications, it's appropriate for us to think about the words we choose. For a broadcaster, it's a must, essential. Writing for radio, I could tell our listeners, Saturday morning, there will be a pancake breakfast at the Greenville Fire Department. But how about instead saying, a hot stack of fresh off the griddle pancakes, farm fresh butter melting down the side, Vermont maple syrup on top, waiting for you this morning at the Greenville Fire Department. The impact of the two approaches is very different. The words we choose. We take for granted the free availability of reasonable and even unreasonable words in this country, but in many places around the world, the government tightly controls the media's words. Journalists are killed, they're jailed because of the power of words. It happened just last weekend. Gunmen stormed a TV station in Libya. 10 TV stations were shut down in Baghdad. Just a few months ago, rebels attacked a TV station in Syria, killing 7 employees there. They were trying to speak reasonable words, and they died trying to do it. The world of communications changes constantly. Think of the words of our business that did not exist 5 years ago. The cloud, Twitter, Spotify, Pandora, crowdsourcing. My first interviews were recorded on reel-to-reel tapes, then cassettes, then digital audio tapes, mini discs, and now I record interviews on MP3 players, MP3 recorders. The collection and delivery methods of communications change constantly, but delivering a message in clear, colorful, concise, reasonable words, that does not change. Have you noticed the media takes more time warning people about bad habits than encouraging good ones? I started some habits here at Thiel that I hope count among the good habits. Going to concerts, reading the New York Times every day, enjoying coffee with friends. When you have a coffee with your friends, be sure to say something encouraging to each other. Our words matter. Our thoughts matter too. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 tells us, "Fix our thoughts on what is true, honorable, right, pure, lovely, and admirable." Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Now, not all best-selling novels are worthy of your time. Has anyone read the 50 Shades of Grey novels? Anyone here? You're not raising your hands. If you're tempted, let me remind you of one reviewer's thoughts posted on Amazon.com. "It's a wasted couple of hours of your life you'll never get back. Go to the dentist instead." I like dentists. Habit number 2. Here's the second habit to keep in mind. Every day, you should hear some great music. When I visited Thiel English professor Richard Schroeder's office, he was my advisor, he was always listening to WYSU in Youngstown, which played classical music. Find your local classical radio station and tune in. Stretch yourself. Listen to music you don't know, not just what's on your iPod. Music calms stress, reduces chronic pain, and helps you heal faster. We know this from solid research now. Music is good for your brain, and I think it's good for your heart. Habit number 3, make it a habit to have art in your life. I hold close the friendships that I made here on campus. Dr. Bloomfield, James Bloomfield, taught me how history connects to art and the cultural world. Jan and Jim Bloomfield are passionate museum goers. I have a collection of postcards that they've sent me, great art from museums all over the world. One summer, I worked in the dean's office, and the Bloomfields invited me to stay at their beautiful home just down the road here if I would cut the grass and keep an eye on things. Now, I don't remember if they came home a day early or what, but they got back from their travels, and I had not cut the grass even once, and the kitchen was a mess. But the Bloomfields still speak to me. And apparently they didn't tell anybody either, because the following summer Dr. Judith Newton invited me to take care of her place, and you know what? She came home a day early too. I hadn't cut the grass. I was on the porch with my girlfriend. It was a crazy scene, but she still speaks to me. I spoke to her yesterday. Dr. Schroeder suggested I grab any opportunity to see the world, and I have been extremely fortunate to travel on over 25 tours with the Pittsburgh Symphony across 5 continents in my work, reporting on their travels, representing Western Pennsylvania to the world. I was in Russia as communism was crumbling in 1989. I heard a Chinese chorus sing Beethoven's Ode to Joy in Mandarin and filed a report from Tiananmen Square in Beijing. I have blogged from Barcelona to Buenos Aires, interviewed musicians in Sydney, Vienna, Prague, and Rome, where the Pittsburgh Symphony was honored as the only American orchestra to play for the Pope at the Vatican. I heard the Muslim call to evening prayer, and minutes later, the Pittsburgh Symphony played Shostakovich in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It was at the base of the Petronas Towers, the tallest building in the world at the time. They made a James Bond film there. Thiel College taught me to value history, art, literature, music, and architecture, to become a lifelong learner and library user and supporter of the arts. You are now a part of the rich history of Thiel College. Amelia Earhart with her plane visiting campus. Of course, her father went to Thiel. I interviewed Thiel degree holder Gordon Parks, one of the most famous African-American photographers of all time, here on campus. Working in Oakland, I occasionally run into the chancellor of the University of Pittsburgh, Thiel grad Mark Nordenberg. In 1987, I remember a surreal experience. It was very late at night, watching officers patrol the wall between East and West Berlin alongside Thiel alum Ken Nine. Ken was living in Germany on the advice of his Thiel prof, who said, if you're going to study German literature, you should do it in Germany. Ken's global focus, developed as a Thiel student, prepared him to live in Germany to this day. I enjoyed reading Shakespeare with Dr. Harry Petticord. I wonder what he would think of the news item a few years ago from England. Apparently, Shakespeare may have smoked pot. He might have smoked marijuana. We know this because scientists have used gas chromatography to examine clay pipes that were found in Shakespeare's garden in Stratford. There was a wonderful headline in the Daily Mail, "Do be or not do be." A reasonable use of the words, I think. Maybe you can't visit a museum every day, but you can discover fine art as close as your television screen. I remember one Saturday night in Hodge Hall, tuning in WQED, Channel 13. It was a fuzzy black and white set. This is before the days of cable television. I discovered the movies of the Swedish filmmaker Ingmar Bergman. I ended up as an intern at WQED, thanks to the encouragement of Thiel prof Evelyn Baer. I worked for Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, Fred Rogers. One day, Fred's guest was Julia Child. We made spaghetti in the studio, spaghetti Marco Polo. Fred had an interesting quote in French. It was embroidered on his office wall, and it's from The Little Prince by Antoine Saint-Exupéry. Maybe you know this quote. In French, "L'essentiel est invisible pour les yeux." In English, what is essential is invisible to the eye. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Fred Rogers understood this. To focus on the important things, the words you choose to speak, the music you listen to, the art that you rest your eyes on. These are all not only things that matter, they make us who we are. WQED-FM in Pittsburgh, where I've spent my career, began in 1973, thanks to the then chairman of the board, Leland Hazard. Leland spoke the first words ever broadcast on 89.3 in Pittsburgh, and he chose a quote by the German writer Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Mr. Hazard read at sign-on, "To live a civilized life, one ought every day at least to hear a little song, read a good poem, see a fine picture, and if it were possible, to speak a few reasonable words." That is my wish for you. You are leaving Thiel College today ready to make your own difference in the world. I don't know if my words are going to help you pay back those educational loans any faster, but I can tell you, if you make these habits part of your life, you'll be able to better manage in a world full of bombs at the Boston Marathon, terrorists, and changing technology. Now, in Bill Robinson's honor, after 4 decades as an impresario, I want to offer just one bit of advice on what to say after the theater, or after the concert, or after the commencement speaker's remarks. After a less than stellar performance, the actress Jane Cowell would dramatically swing into the dressing room to tell her actor friends, "My, aren't you glad you're you?" You see, she wasn't really giving them a compliment now, was she? Conductor Lauren Mazel remembers someone backstage telling him after a concert, "Maestro, your performance tonight was irreparable." And there was the lady who greeted the late statesman Adlai Stevenson after an address with the remark, "Mr. Stevenson, your speech was absolutely superfluous. Could I have a copy of it?" "Of course," replied Stevenson. "It will be published posthumously." "Splendid," said the lady, "and the sooner the better." I'd like to close with 3 cheers twice. 3 cheers twice for the class of 2013. I propose 3 cheers for Thiel College, its faculty, its board, its staff, its alumni. May the spirit of Thiel live and guide you on your journey always. Hip, hip. Hooray. Hip, hip. Hooray. Hip, hip. I propose 3 cheers for the class of 2013. Remember the Thiel motto, Lux Mundi Verbum Dei. May you carry forward the light of the world and the word of God. Hip, hip. Hooray. Louder, hip, hip. Hooray. Hip, hip. Hooray. Bless you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, 2013.
Professor Miller, will you please bring your candidate forward?
Good afternoon, everybody, and congratulations to the class that's graduating here today. I've had a little bit of bad luck, and I'm sure you're aware of that, to follow Jim Cunningham, the man with the golden voice. All I can do is speak with what I was born with and do my best. Over the years, it has been my privilege to present a number of individuals for an honorary degree. But none give me more pleasure than today to present to you Linda Boyce Haller. Now, there are 3 reasons why I say that. Number 1, the soon-to-be Dr. Haller. has a sincere and deep concern for students at Thiel. And she wants to support those students in every way that she can. Now, I'm going to call on the class to help me communicate this. And that's the magic word this weekend at Thiel, communicate. First, I'm going to call on some people, and I want everyone to stand. Shay Mayer. Shay, would you kindly stand, please? Shay is a religion and philosophy major. She's also the recipient of the Haller Award for Outstanding Business Plan Creation. Number two, I'm going to call on Andrew Garrett, a business major, another recipient of the Haller Award for Outstanding Business Plan. Now, I'm going to ask at this time that all students who have been in the entrepreneur class to please stand with these two folks. All of you who have been in that class, please stand. The last group that I'd like to have join this illustrious group are all of you students who have received a Haller Enterprise Scholarship at any time during your 4 years. Please stand. That's a little indication of the impact of this lady and her husband, former husband, Henry Haller. Let's give an applause to these entrepreneurs. Thank you very much. I forgot one, the cameraman over here, a Haller Scholarship recipient as well. Point number two. Mrs. Haller has served on the Board of Trustees at Thiel College. And she served Thiel at a very challenging time. But she had a reputation as a board member of doing her homework and asking the tough questions. And she, along with other board members, saw themselves through this challenge, righted the Thiel ship, and I'm so delighted to say that over the past 4 years, we have been sailing very, very clearly and directly. The groundbreaking yesterday is a clear indication of that. Linda, we thank you for your role in that. My third point is this, and this is where I get into trouble, but I'm prone to that. I'm going to ask my wife to stand. She didn't know how much trouble this was going to be. Over the years, Ruth and I have enjoyed many occasions together with the Hallers. And we have developed a very special friendship. A friendship that we treasure and that we considered ourselves blessed to be part of. And we thank you for that. At this time, I call on President Van Aken to proceed with the presentation of the Doctor of Humanities honorary presentation.
You, Linda Boyce Haller, have dedicated your life to civic and community involvement and to continuing the passionate avocation your late husband, Henry E. Haller, Jr., had for feeding and nurturing the entrepreneurial spirit in today's young people. Henry generously funded the Haller Enterprise Institute at Thiel College, an innovative program that encourages students to start their own business while they finish their education 16 years ago. You have faithfully supported the mission of the Institute, including its hallmark aspect, the Haller Scholarship. Your generosity, guidance, financial support, and belief in encouraging entrepreneurship across disciplines has fostered the ambitions of hundreds of women and men across the Thiel College campus. Today, Thiel College, a liberal arts, sciences, and professional studies college, acknowledges and expresses sincere thanks for your commitment to the dreams of business ownership of many Thiel College students, as well as your steadfast support of the growth and success of Thiel College by awarding you the degree, Doctors of Humanities. We salute you and wish you Godspeed in all that is before you.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees and their actions, I confer upon you, Linda Haller, the degree of Doctor of Humanities, honoris causa, with all its rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto pertaining.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ed.
We'll get that. You want to say a few words, Wendy? You can say it.
I am delighted and honored to be here, and believe me, I am truly honored. It is a joy to be in your presence and finally get to meet some of the students. To the graduates, I can only say that you have a whole, clear, glorious life ahead of you. So go out, you've got your goals, achieve, achieve, achieve. I'd like to conclude, because I know no one wants long speeches, by noting that this year marks the 50th anniversary of the highly successful tenure of David Miller at Thiel College. My late husband, Henry, knew instinctively when he first met Professor Miller that he possessed the essence of integrity, dignity, and utmost professionalism. I wish to thank you, David, for your steadfast dedication to the Haller Enterprise Institute and for successfully leading us into the 21st century. As a role model for future entrepreneurs, you have embodied the core values of Thiel College by demanding the highest ethical behavior of yourself as well as those you lead. You have provided the leadership lessons that prepare students for true success in life. Always striving to do your best, you insist that others do the same, and for that, my family and I, as well as all of the Haller Scholarship recipients, will remain in your debt. David, we hope you know all that you are and will ever be to us. And it gives me great pleasure to ask Andrew Garrett, this year's Entrepreneurial Program Business Plan winner, and Courtney Becker to please come and join me on the stage. David, this is a small token. This is a small token of our esteem. Thank you all very much.
Friends, please join me in congratulating Dr. Linda Haller. Now I'd like to introduce Thiel College's Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the College, Dr. Lynn Franklin. Dr. Franklin.
It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Bill Robinson. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Bill Robinson, appearing before you for the very first time as Professor Emeritus, Department of Performing Arts, Thiel College. With overflowing, abundant talent, patience, and charm, Dr. Robinson has taught, directed, and entertained the college's students, faculty, and staff and also the Greenville theatrical community for over 35 years. In commemoration of how dearly we have treasured all that time, all the laughs, the tears, the music, and the sheer pleasure of his company, Dr. Van Aken will present a special plaque to Dr. Robinson.
The very talented members of the Thiel Choir, under the director of Dr. Michael Bray, professor of music, will now perform some music to mark this very special occasion. Dr. Bray?
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Mary Teresa Hall. I am a professor in the English department and chair of the faculty, and it is now my distinct pleasure to serve as the segue member as we turn to the next portion of our program, which is to introduce our senior class representatives. I am pleased today to present Senior Class President Matthew Schneider. Matthew, will you now come forward to bring greetings from the senior class officers and the class of 2013. Please welcome Matt Schneider as he speaks on behalf of his class.
Fellow students, parents, family, friends, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, and staff, it is my pleasure today, on behalf of the class of 2013, to welcome each and every one of you to the 139th Commencement at Thiel College. Commencement and all of its ceremonies at their core are about recognition. That is why you've all come today. We gather here to recognize the achievement of all of the students graduating today in the class of 2013. But behind all its formal ceremonies of commencement lies a deeper reality. Today we celebrate the new beginning, not an ending. We will leave this building today commencing upon our new life's journey, equipped with the knowledge and skills gained here while at Thiel College. We will take on a new and ever-changing world and shall find a place in that world. This has all been made possible because of the love and dedication to all of those around us today. Most notably our parents and our families, our beloved professors, and everyone else that's come here in this building. So let me extend a most sincere thank you to all of you for coming here and sharing the special moment of commencement with us today. On behalf of the class of 2013, thank you.
Will Haley Hayden and Brianna Sweet please come forward? Haley, Brianna, and the Senior Class Gift Committee have worked conscientiously to assure that a legacy of their class will remain after they leave today. Please welcome Haley Hayden and Brianna Sweet as they present the Senior Class Gift.
The Thiel College of Class of 2013 is proud to carry on the tradition of philanthropy that is a part of the mission of the college. As we prepare to transition from this time as students into alumni, we promise to remain active and committed to our alma mater.
This year's class gift was selected by majority vote and is designated for a basketball court for the upperclassmen quad. We hope that current and future students enjoy this space and utilize it for recreation and intramural purposes.
On behalf of the class of 2013, we, as representatives of Senior Class Committee, present this gift to the college.
The Renaissance courtier figure possessed many impressive features. This model Renaissance gentleman had to win the respect and friendship of his peers and of a ruler or prince so as to be able to offer invaluable assistance and advice on how to rule the city. To do this, he had to be a worthy friend, accomplished in sports, in telling jokes, in fighting, writing poetry, playing music, drawing, and dancing, and to do all of this with a balanced perspective. To his personal goodness must be added familiarity with the arts and sciences. Furthermore, the courtier figure had to excel in all that he did without apparent effort and make everything look easy and natural. Sprezzatura, or the art that conceals art, was not simply a kind of superficial put-on, but a trait that became second nature and seemed to be inborn. Those interested in acquiring this art must do so through practice and imitation, which is a form of teaching, since this courtier figure was regarded as a model for others. We jump ahead a few centuries to May 5th, 2013, to a liberal arts college in northwestern Pennsylvania that teaches its students about such glorious historical and literary times as Renaissance Italy and England and the courtier figure. We are privileged today to listen to one of our graduating seniors, Kelly Barzak, who possesses many of the attributes of the Renaissance courtier figure. Kelly just completed a very successful student teaching experience as an elementary education major. She served as the president of the Le Laurier Senior Honorary Society, as a member of the Kappa Delta Pi Educational Honor Society, as community service leader of the Lambda Sigma Sophomore Honor Society, and as a recent inductee of the Alpha Chi National Honorary Society. As significant as these achievements are, Kelly has also been recognized for her sportsmanship. For 4 years, she served on the volleyball and basketball teams and is an academic All-American in both volleyball and basketball. She is a member of the Chi Alpha Sigma National Athletic Honor Society. Kelly is a scholar athlete whom we are proud to claim as Thiel's example of the courtier figure. She does all things with sprezzatura, with the grace and agility that comes from intelligence applied with humility and adaptability, both on and off the court of life. I am proud to present Kelly M. Barzak, the Vice President of the Class of 2013 and Thiel College's version of the modern-day female courtier figure. Kelly.
Surprise, family. I would first like to welcome and thank President Van Aken, members of the Board of Trustees, administration, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates of the class of 2013. I'm honored to be speaking here in front of you, and quite honestly, a little nervous. 4 years ago, we walked up Brother Martin's Walk together, and we're sitting in these very seats. What an exciting 4 years. Some memories were better than others, but we stayed with it. Out of 399 incoming freshmen, our 154 are graduating today, with a few more to walk later. I would like to take you through a recap of the past 4 years. We pulled all-nighters, prayed through Western humanities, fought the dreadful heat in our housing, even when it was winter, and had to deal with rush hour in the cafeteria. We were outraged when the handicap button didn't work to the HMSC and struggled to walk up Brother Martin's Walk in the snow. When we entered the mailroom, we could always count on receiving our daily disappointment, and we dearly missed our home-cooked meals. All of us at several points here at Thiel were either sleeping or showering when the fire alarm went off. There was never a fire, just some burnt popcorn. I blame our parents. But overall, the good outweighed the bad. In Greenville, Pennsylvania, we made our own fun. The fraternities and OBC had small late-night gatherings, and the D-SIGs designed hillbilly slip-and-slides. I also loved watching the K-SIGs ride the homemade seesaw during every homecoming weekend for 3 days straight. After a long weekend, the barbecue from the night before had to be cleaned up at the townhouses, and it never seemed to be food. Thiel did a wonderful job sponsoring activities for us to attend. Many people went to New York City and DC. Thiel also had activities on campus, such as the Black and White Affair, Homecoming, the spring concerts, Build-A-Bear, a haunted house, and anyone who was brave enough to sit on Santa's lap. But overall, I have to say, the best activity was the swimming pool that never froze. When President Van Aken came to Thiel in 2009, we began our journey together. President Van Aken has helped to improve facilities at Thiel College, starting with the Hodge and Bistro renovations and building a dome over our football, lacrosse, and soccer field. It has become a place that the community can enjoy and has helped with time restraints in the gymnasium. And just yesterday, we broke ground on a new communication center that is the first new academic building on Thiel's campus in over 40 years. While at Thiel, we also received a $25 million donation from Bill Dietrich. This money will be used towards our honors program and to enhance our endowment. President Van Aken is also a wonderful role model and someone that each and every one of us can look up to. I think it's remarkable that he can remember so many of our names and attend so many different events. Thiel College is known for community service and raising money for organizations. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee raised several $1,000s by participating in the Polar Plunge for Special Olympics. Greenville and the Thiel community held its first ever Relay for Life. Also, fraternities and sororities raised money for their different philanthropies. We participated into Spring Into Action, where we were able to build a playground for community children. We should all be very proud of ourselves. In the athletic department, we added 5 new varsity sports, and our teams had a successful year. Nick Rossmiller pitched a perfect game for only the 16th time in Division III history. The women's lacrosse team won the PAC championships last week, and the women's volleyball team made it to the PAC championship game 3 out of the last 4 years. Also, Tim Taylor and I both received Academic All-American, Taylor for football, and I for volleyball and basketball. In the past 4 years, we've had an outstanding 147 PAC honors and 248 PAC academic honor rolls, with more to come this spring. Here at Thiel, our professors, faculty, and staff have become part of our families. They have guided each and every one of us to become better people and have sculpted us to be able to perform in the real world. Because of them, we can become teachers, doctors, broadcasters, lawyers, coaches, and so much more. There are a few that seem to touch the hearts of many of us. Dr. Bright and his entertaining lessons, Dr. Thompson with his absurd outbursts, Ed at the bookstore, the cafeteria ladies, who each gave us a couple extra pounds, and a special thanks to our board members. They have believed in us by investing money to enhance our educational experience. Lastly, I can't forget about my remarkable education department teachers. We education majors are more prepared than ever to teach our future children and grandchildren. We have made lasting memories here at Thiel and have made lifetime friends. I'm so grateful for the people I have met and the experiences I have taken away. We have made our mark at Thiel College, and hopefully some of the traditions that we have created will survive. I would now like to share a quote with you. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. T.S. Eliot. We've already made it this far. Do not stop going. Get more education, go the distance to get the promotion, and work hard. Nothing is out of reach. Never let the fear or the idea that you cannot do something hold you back from reaching your goals and aspirations. Parents and family, faculty and staff, and the graduating class of 2013, give yourselves a huge round of applause.
is now my privilege to ask the following students who have earned the top ranking in their class to please come to the stage in the following order, using the steps to your right. Our class valedictorian, Emily Whipple, and our class salutatorian, Caitlin Ferry. Emily and Caitlin, will you please come forward now and receive a certificate of recognition for your academic achievement from Dean Franken. It is the distinction of degree-granting academic institutions to recognize its students who have achieved a grade point average of 4.0 and to grant them the title of valedictorian. Today, we honor Emily Nicole Whipple with the title of valedictorian. Emily has earned the distinction of a 4.0 GPA in her major of English and certification in secondary education, while also fulfilling the requirements of the honors program. It is also the distinct privilege of degree-granting academic institutions to recognize its students who have achieved a grade point average of 3.9 or higher and to grant them the title of salutatorian. Today, we honor Caitlin Elizabeth Ferry with the title of salutatorian. Caitlin has earned the distinction of a 3.97 GPA in her major of Communication Sciences and Disorders, while also fulfilling the requirements of the honors program. Both students have also been recognized as Thiel Students of the Month. I invite the audience, the platform party, and the faculty to please join me in congratulating Emily Nicole Whipple and Caitlin Elizabeth Ferry for the academic honor and integrity they have rendered to academia, themselves, their families, their class, and Thiel College.
Well, it's time. Ready for the actual graduation. As we begin the presentation of the class, I want to draw to your attention the table of flowers to my right. The flowers presented to each graduate by Mr. Chuck Goodrick, President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, symbolize each diplomate's transition from Thiel student to Thiel alumnus or alumna. Graduates are encouraged to bestow their flower upon a family member or other mentor they especially wish to thank for the success that this day represents. Now, I know how excited you all are today, never more so than when your student crosses the stage. Please demonstrate that excitement with mutual hugs, holding hands, great big smiles, waves, anything at all, so long as it is silent. This way, every student's name can be heard. I promise you this. At the end, when Dr. Van Aken gives the signal, we will get enthusiastic together, loudly enthusiastic. Will the candidates for the authorized degrees of the college please rise? Dr. Van Aken, on behalf of the faculty, I have the privilege to present the candidates for the conferring of these degrees. Doughton Daniel Akinole, Jr. Brittany Marie Anderson, Dean's Key, summa cum laude. Meg Elizabeth Andrews, Dean's Key, magna cum laude. Paul Michael Octor, Dean's Key, summa cum laude. Alexandria Lynn Barry, Dean's Key, magna cum laude. Kelly May Barzak, summa cum laude. Bradley Richard Bates. Courtney Louise Becker, magna cum laude. William Aidan Benjamin, cum laude. Brett Michael Bissett. Matthew E. Butler. Rebecca Lynn Cordillo. Courtney Rebecca Chadbourne. Laureen Marie Chapin. Alyssa Catherine Chine, summa cum laude. Jesse Clayton. Anthony Joseph Corso II. Shayna Marie Cousins. Heather Marie Kozak. Shiguru Daigo. Ashley Lorraine Davis. Brian Joseph Davis. Kendall Alexander DeLashma. Shane Matthew Dillon. Ashley Renee Donnelly. Aaron Patrick Dufala. Stephanie Nicole Duca, cum laude, Student of the Month, November. Joshua Lee Emanuelson. Sarah Emily Fonts. Caitlin Elizabeth Ferry, Dean's Key, summa cum laude, Student of the Month, April. Brianna Lisa Fink. Nicole T. Fleming. Jordan Martin Fortuna. Caitlin Elizabeth Francis. Emily Rose Frederick, magna cum laude. Daniel Lee Gainey, cum laude. Andrew Allen Garrett. Peter Zane Garza. Terry Stephen Gensel. Corey Michael Gifford. David Joseph Gonda. Casey Estelle Grimm. Todd Harvey Jr. Kayla Nicole Holly Deansky, summa cum laude. Haley Marie Hayden. Morgan Suzanne Hayes, magna cum laude. Joseph Francis Herzog Deansky, summa cum laude. Student of the Month, April 2012. Jonathan Joseph Hogan. Jenna Mary Ellen Ingrayo, magna cum laude. Robert Dale Irby II, Student of the Month, March. Adrienne Janara Jackson. Chanel Lorraine Jenkins. Sheena Noel Johns, Dean's Key, summa cum laude, Student of the Month, April. Jessica Lynn Kaminsky. Eric Paul King, Student of the Month, December. Michael Andrew Clausewitz. Sunsuke Kogai. Cassidy Laurel Kravik. Jennifer Ellen Kumar. Abigail Royce Kusuro. Samantha Renee Lane. Allison Marie Lang, summa cum laude. Drew Philip Lingauer. Jennifer Faye Lepla. Hunter Smith Liptrap, magna cum laude. Ethan Daniel Ludwig. Anthony Ray Magnone. Shea A. Meyer, magna cum laude, Student of the Month, March. Matthew Douglas May. Heather Renee McLeod, Dean's Key, summa cum laude. Kayla Ray McFeely. Chase McKinney. Chelsea Lauren Meister, Dean's Key, summa cum laude. Crystal Renee Mitchell. Julie Lauren Mitchell, magna cum laude. Taylor Knudsen Morrison. Adam Michael Mott. Jessica Jean Mueller, Dean's Key, magna cum laude. Jared Andrew Nana. Cody John Northcott. Umari Brooke Nystrom. Kayla Ann Olin, Dean's Key, summa cum laude, Student of the Month, February. Christopher Nicholas O'Patterney. Megan Ann Payne. Aaron Darnell Parker. Ryan Scott Pepper. Tracy Ann Phillips. Rachel Marie Pytek. Michael K. Pika, cum laude. Mariah Carrie Pogue, magna cum laude. Alyssa Rochelle Polikoff. Vincent Allen Pucci, magna cum laude. Amanda Christine Pye, summa cum laude, Student of the Month, October. Ashley Ann Rabel, Dean's Key, summa cum laude. Connor Reed Radgowski. Daniel Brian Razor. Michael David Razor. Claire Alice Reck, cum laude. Kate Elizabeth Rensel, cum laude. William John Ringer. Anthony Andrew Rizzardi. Shayna Monique Rocheford. Nicholas Daniel Rossmiller. Kelly Jane Sanzeri. Matthew Earl Schneider, Dean's Key, summa cum laude. Amber Lynn Schultes. Rebecca Marie Scribbin. Courtney Ray Sinard. Keisha Marie Shaw, cum laude, Student of the Month, December. Diana Lynn Slomani, Dean's Key, magna cum laude. John Bradley Snowden. Chelsea Margaret Alexis Spar. Eric James Steininger. William Orville Stone III, Dean's Key, summa cum laude. Brianna Lee Sweet. Jacob Vincent Swiskowski. Timothy J. Taylor II, cum laude. Matthew Jordan Tharp. Robert Joseph Tibbet. Shinjiro Tadaka. Jordan Michael Toth. Hirokazu Tsutsui. Matthew Christopher Turk, magna cum laude. Christopher Charles Tursky. Regis William Wagner IV, summa cum laude. Sarah Wong. Kristen Elizabeth Wanzer, summa cum laude. Alexa Lynn Weaver. Jonathan Patrick Welsh. Emily Nicole Whipple, Dean's Key, summa cum laude, Student of the Month, November. Katie Ann Williams, Dean's Key, summa cum laude, Student of the Month, October. Kimberly Joanne Williams. Karen Galina Wolf. Emily Ann Jaworski. Class of 2013.
Stand up. Let's all stand up. No, not you. You stay down. No, you stay down. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Thiel College and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I have the privilege to accord to you the degrees that you have earned with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto pertaining. You may now move your tassels from the right side to the left side of your cap. Please join me in one final time congratulating the newest alumni of Thiel College, the class of 2013.
Before we conclude this afternoon, I have a few announcements. After the closing prayer, please remain at your seats until the recessional, including the class of 2013, has cleared the center aisle. Then, use both the side and the rear doors to exit the Passivant Center. Please join us immediately following the convocation for a reception in honor of our newest alums in the Howard Miller Student Center. Special legacy photos will be taken on the steps of Greenville Hall. Now, we have only the singing of the alma mater and the benediction between us and trays of chocolate-covered strawberries. So, would you all now please stand?
Let us pray. Go with the graduates and with each of us now, O God of splendorous love, as we head out into the world. May our desire for beauty, our questing for truth, our hungering for justice, and our longing for love draw us closer to you. And we ask you to bless us and keep us. Smile upon us and fill us with humor for a lifetime. Give us your peace that fills us with tranquility, even as it continually calls us to transform our life together to be more peace-filled. We pray in the name of the one from Nazareth, who gives a face to you, the one whose unknowability we know. Amen.